you are not safe on the road. Not just because of teens driving while using TikTok, you're in danger because China can hack your car, and also TikTok. Welcome to China Uncensored, I'm Chris Chappell. Criticizing China just got a lot scarier. Imagine you're driving down the road in your latest smart car, and then you get hacked. That would end badly.
Below a certain speed, they can control the Jeep's steering as long as it's in reverse, pop its locks, mess with the speedometer, and, of course, disable the brakes.
Okay, hold on tight. Hold on. Oh,
That was a demonstration of what hackers currently could do with many of the more plugged-in cars on the road. It's insane. I can't turn it down.
This was such a fun video. Steve, I'll kick it off to enjoy it.
and now the air conditioning is blasting, the music is blasting, and I can't see anything because of the windshield wiper fluid.
Okay, do it. Do it. Kill the engine.
So we're killing the engine right now.
It says park sense. Actually can't accelerate.
I stomped on the gas, but the Jeep slowed to a crawl.
That brings a whole new meaning to highway to hell. This is possible because of what's called a Cellular Internet of Things module, or CIM. CIMs control audio, sensors, cameras, geolocation capabilities, engines, and more. And guess where they're frequently made? That's right, China. And because of that, these CIMs send a lot of data back to China, according to Charles Parton, former UK diplomat with decades of experience with China. Even if ministerial or other sensitive cars are tested for spyware when they're imported, CIMs require frequent software updates by Chinese companies. There's no way of monitoring whether these updates contain malware. And yes, Charles Parton did just mention spyware. It used to be that having a cool spy car meant buying one of the models used by James Bond. Now it means something else, especially for electric vehicles. Many security experts in the UK are nervous. They say China will use EVs to spy on Britain, instead of how they used to do it, with Chinese tracking devices inside government cars. China knows electric vehicles can be used to spy. That's why China is banning Tesla owners from driving near sensitive sites. They're scared that EV spying could go both ways. But here's another way this technology can be weaponized. When Russia invaded Ukraine, the manufacturer John Deere remotely disabled their captured tractors, effectively turning them into metal bricks. Now say China, invades Taiwan. Might they threaten to turn our vehicles into metal bricks if America goes to Taiwan's defense? It's not just chips, though. Chinese companies are increasingly selling cars all over the world. China is now the world's top car exporter, thanks in large part to its massive numbers of cheap EVs. This should make you nervous. And not just because these real pics look like they were taken from a zombie apocalypse movie called Red Dawn of the Dead. Even if you yourself don't own a Chinese-made car, if someone else on the road does. After all, Chinese-made EVs come complete with a self-immolation feature. Not on purpose, but Chinese EVs do catch fire a lot. I've said Chinese products are hot messes, but this is ridiculous. And it's not just passenger vehicles. In a moment, I'll tell you how not even police and other emergency vehicles are safe. But first, when it comes to electric vehicles, you need to make sure you're getting the full story. Which is why I used ground news to see how EVs are being covered on the political left versus the center versus the right. Yes, even EVs are political. For example, ground news shows how this story, Canadian electric vehicle registrations inching closer to Liberal government's target, is essentially only covered by left-leaning media. It's quite surprising that none of these sources are government-owned or affiliated. Meanwhile, there's this story about how a Canadian man who bought a $115,000 electric truck had so many problems with it that he had to ditch it in the middle of a family road trip and rent a gas-powered truck. That's being covered only by the right. I found these stories through the Ground News Blind Spot feed. I've been checking Ground News daily to make sure I don't find myself in an echo chamber. And that's precisely why you should be using Ground News too. Their website and app go out of their way to provide context to the news we consume. It helps expose biases and blind spots in the media so we can make sure we're getting all sides of every story. I find it especially useful that we can follow specific topics to get notifications on things like electric vehicles or even China. Ground News is on a mission to hold the media accountable and provide context so we can see how media narratives can easily shape public opinion. It's a great place to go to if you want to be more informed than the average newsreader and find multiple perspectives that you might otherwise have missed. And it's also just really interesting to see all the hidden biases in the media. And that's why we're working with Ground News to sponsor this video. So sign up at ground.news/China Uncensored or subscribe through my link before September 1st and get 30% off the Vantage level subscription for unlimited access. The link is in the description. And as I said before, when it comes to Chinese products, your life could already be at risk. For yet another reason, it's not just cars you have to watch out for. China plans to rule all of the world's smart devices and the Internet of Things. Remember Charles Parton, the former UK diplomat I mentioned earlier? He warned that 3 Chinese companies already have over 50% of the international market for cellular Internet of Things modules. These companies are also the key suppliers to Chinese tech companies that are contributing to human rights abuses in places like Xinjiang. If they have no problem fueling ethnic concentration camps, then what's to say that they care about your safety? That's like going to a bungee jump attraction operated by Pol Pot. Yeah, he's a mass murderer, but he wouldn't be negligent. Having such a strong grip on smart devices gives China tremendous leverage over the world. It's already bad enough that we have to worry about everyday items like toys. But alarmingly, we also have to worry about the equipment used by police officers, firefighters, and other first responders. According to Newsweek, Chinese-made components in devices certified for use on the federally managed FirstNet public safety network are designed to be able to send information back to servers in China. Think about how dangerous that is. And not just because this is the last thing you need firefighters bringing to fight fires. If China is able to get data from first responder devices, then they could very well deactivate devices, or much worse. Messing up equipment to waste minutes or even seconds could be the difference between life and death. Officials working for the FirstNet Authority say that their devices are safe thanks to testing and other measures. They claim that no data goes to China, but security experts and former officials aren't so confident, and you can't blame them for doubting. Chinese companies are so secretive that it's almost impossible to know the full manufacturing process in China, or even the basic capabilities of the modules they make. On top of that, Chinese companies are compelled by law to give any and all data to the Chinese Communist Party. Just about everything made by China can be weaponized by China, including things we wouldn't think of as harmful, like solar panels. Why are people willing to spend thousands of dollars on devices that could get them killed is beyond me. I'd rather save money on things that don't depend on giving China data. And as I mentioned, this episode is sponsored by Ground News. It's a great tool to help you stay well informed about what's happening in the world and how it's being covered by all sides of the political spectrum. Check it out at ground.news/China Uncensored or click the link below. Once again, I'm Chris Chappell. See you next time.